Hey, 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 how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yay. Hello, 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 hello. My goodness, how are you doing? Okay, so today's Friday, some people call it, basically. And I got to journaling about the fact that every day is a new day. Okay, I know it's the end of the week. It's almost not the kind of thing people talk about on Friday. You talk about this on a Monday. But nonetheless, I was reading, as I do, from my scripture, something along the lines of, man doesn't live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Now, you and may or may not believe any of that. That's fine. I don't really care. What I do care about, however, is this. I can almost split my life into two. At one point, I was living completely from the past, completely from my experiences and my history and my story, and making decisions based on what I'd learned and what I'd seen happen and what I could see around me. And, I was making all of my choices based on that, deciding that, well, what had been was what was always going to be. So if I had been sick because I'd done something before, therefore I didn't do that something again because I might be sick again. Or when it came to building a business as well, I was trying to build it from a very step by step. This is what I learned in school. And definitely that's how I built my career in fact, that was the way they wanted you to build your career. Becoming a pharmacist, there were certain rules and regulations and laws that you had to live by, that some person some time ago had put together. You learned those rules and regulations, and then you had to just go along with it and do it every single day in exactly the way they wanted you to, or else you get sued, or you get in trouble, you lose your license, all of that. And I took that into trying to build a business as well, that, I wanted to, pick up and read about all the rules and the regulations and how you should do it and how you shouldn't do this and how to get it exactly right. And all of this was living from a place of, I suppose, the old in some ways. I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning these foundational things, but you know what? The ones that excel are the ones that allow themselves to tap into new wisdom, into new refreshing newness every single day. And so I was saying, I split my life into two, in that there was that time when I was living like that, where I was almost scared of any of the intuitive nudges inside of me. I couldn't trust any of that because I didn't really trust me. Okay? And so then I come out the other side, and this time I live from a very, I would say, spirit-driven, spirit-led place. You might call it intuition-led. And I do live from there. Okay? It took some doing to become courageous enough to act based on what bubbled up inside of me. And it's never to say that you don't learn what needs to be learned. I still have the foundational stuff in place that I learned from coaches and mentors and all of that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But that almost is the old. As soon as you learn it, it's old. And if every single person on the planet is acting and learning from the same places as you, then what makes you different? And as you try to be the same as everyone else around you, instead of tapping into new wisdom, fresh knowledge, fresh application of the knowledge you do have, and most people try, you don't do that. You don't tap into the newness because you are scared. You're worried that you'll stand out too much and people will just think you're crazy, and you're worried about how you'll come across and all of this and all of the other. And so then you try to blend in, but in blending in, you disappear. And honey, it's a new day. It's a new day. You don't have to live from the old wisdom, the old knowledge, the old experiences. Because yes, I'm talking about business in some ways, but then I also see, even in like relationships, people, maybe you had a really bad experience with a past relationship. And so you've learned some lessons, which is great. But now you've learned also not to trust and and you keep acting as someone who is still in the old relationship. You're protecting yourself as though you're still in the old relationship, but you're not. It's new today. You might even be, talking to a new person. New ideas, you want to always be living from this moment, not from yesterday's moments. Again, it doesn't mean that all your experiences are for waste. Of course not, or to waste. They're definitely there informing your intuition. but you want to tap into newness. You want to tap into new wisdom in every moment. If you catch yourself thinking, the last time I did that, I got burnt out. You need to realize that in that moment, you're living in the past because you're always different. You have become different as a result of your experiences. And yes, they kind of inform things, but they don't completely. And when you keep living from that past experience, you're not allowing yourself to tap into a new way of being and acting and receiving. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. I mean, as Jesus even said, as I said at the very beginning of this, man cannot live by bread alone. And in some way, bread is, what was baked before. But you now want the fresh word, a fresh idea, a fresh way of looking at things, a moment by moment way of looking at things. You want to live a very intuition-led life. No, it doesn't mean become unreasonable and stupid. No. Because there are some people that are so spiritual that they're of no earthly good whatsoever, basically. But then at the same time, tap into yourself again. Trust yourself again. You do know what needs to happen next. And you can make fresh, new decisions right now, unencumbered by the past. The past is the past. It's now the new. So affirm to yourself, I do know what I need to do next. I am new. Again, I do know what I need to do next. I am new. I do know what I need to do next. I am new. Affirm that to yourself over and over again until it becomes your reality. I do know what to do next. I am new. There is new wisdom, new knowledge available to me. I am connected to the source of all things. I have wisdom on tap. I don't need to live in fear of what went before. I do know what needs to happen next. I am new. Let those be your affirmations today as you step into a new day. For some of you, for some of us, we're in the middle of our day. Or the end, if you're down under. But let this be start to trust you again. Start to trust your intuition again. Start to trust spirit within again. You do know what needs to happen next. It's time to fight for and to deliberately design the life you were born to live because you absolutely want to. And can I just invite you to take advantage of my best-selling book, The Freedom Book, The Deliberate Millionaire Freedom Book. It just kind of goes into a lot of stuff around where you may be blocked up, where you may be holding yourself back from freedom, from wealth, and from a life lived on purpose. Go get it. It's at rosemarynonniknight.com/freedom book. rosemarynonniknight.com/freedom book. Go get it. It will help you see things completely different from the way you do right now. Until the next time, much love.